Wallace. How are you?
Great.
Good. I'm good too. Wallace, I've been thinking a lot about, I know that you're a spiritual teacher.
Yeah.
And what I was wondering, and I was thinking that I'm sure a lot of people wonder, really, is what is the difference between spirituality and, for example, being religious? So let's say, no matter what religion, you're brought up to believe in the difference between good and bad, to make decisions based on love for other people, and to believe that you're born from God, let's say, whoever your God is, and back to God you go if you live a good life.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that, like me, a lot of people get confused between spirituality and Christianity, or, you know, Islam, or whatever religion a person might be.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's a very good question, and one that is very relevant in today's world, because I find generally that people confuse spirituality and religion. So I'm going to start with a joke.
Okay.
There's a friend of mine said to me once, "Do you know what the difference between spirituality and religion is?" And I said, "No, I don't really know." And he said, "Well, religion is for people that don't want to go to hell, and spirituality is for people who've been to hell and don't want to go back."
That's a very good distinction, isn't it?
Yeah. So that often is the case, you know, that people will often come to the spiritual path, not always, but quite often after some major personal trauma. And that has brought them to the spiritual path because it's broken open the shell of their ego and made them search for something. They don't maybe know what it is, but they're searching for something, maybe something that their religion can't supply.
Yeah.
So the difference really, as I see it, between spirituality and religion is spirituality is a personal quest. It's about your personal relationship with the divine as a personal relationship. As discovered by you.
Okay.
Right? So it's all a personal discovery. Whereas religion is about a set of creeds or beliefs which you buy into, we'll say.
Yeah.
And which you
having faith.
Faith, and you adopt as your own. It's like it's usually held in a book or some sacred text and so on. Now the interesting thing about religion is, as far as I know, all the main religions were started by spiritual people, right? They didn't have a religion before they started the religion, but they didn't start the religion. What happened was they were powerful, charismatic, spiritual people in their own era, and then the followers built what they'd said and what they'd created into religion afterwards.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So that's where the religions come from, right?
From spiritual teachers.
From spiritual teachers, right?
Yeah.
Very powerful, charismatic spiritual teachers. So if we think of, what else can I say about the difference between spirituality and religion? Religion usually has a strong community component because all the people in the religion are believing the same thing.
Yes.
They're buying into the same worldview.
Yes.
And they're accepting it as their own, and they're all trying to live up to the same values and the same outlook, right? So that creates potentially a strong bond between people. Spirituality, most people find it quite a lonely quest. Doesn't have to be now, but it usually is, because the number of spiritual people in the world is quite small, as said, against the number of people in religion. Plus, spiritual people often don't know one another, or they don't know there's other spiritual people where they live, so they actually can find themselves quite isolated. Although the internet is helping with that. So spiritual people, they do not necessarily believe anything, right?
Okay.
It's not about belief.
Okay.
It's about experience. It's about your personal experience of yourself and of the divine. That's what it's about. And really, when people come, for example, and work with me as one of my students, they don't have to believe anything.
Yeah.
No, belief is not part of the picture.
Prerequisite. Yeah.
Whereas if you discover something for yourself, it's part of your experience. It's not a belief then. I would distinguish between what is a belief, as in religion, and a knowing, which is something in spirituality. So in spirituality, you know certain things. They're not beliefs because you've experienced them. Does that make sense?
Okay, like it's an understanding based on an experience.
Exactly.
As opposed to having blind faith, for example.
Yes.
And believing in the doctrine of a religion.
Yes.
Okay, that really explains it to me.
Yes.
Yeah, and it actually makes it quite clear. Because sometimes I feel that they're somewhat intertwined, spirituality and religion, as in belief about, the way you live your life. I don't know, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say.
Well, for example, in religion, you would live your life, if you're religious, according to the value system of that religion.
Yes.
And what they deem good and bad behaviour, right?
Yeah.
In spirituality, you live your life according to your own value system.
Okay.
Which you discover through your spiritual quest.
Yeah.
And the values that you yourself want to adopt for yourself.
Okay, that completely explains it to
Yeah.
me now. I was actually it was confusing to me when I gave it some thought.
Yeah.
But that really,
Yeah.
So spirituality is from you. It's your quest.
Yes.
Religion is the quest of someone whose path you might believe in.
Yeah.
But it's following their path.
Yeah.
Not necessarily following your own path. Okay.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Thank you very, very much. That really helps.
Okay. So thank you, Alicia. See you next week.
Thank you, Wallace. See you next week.